The Jedi never saw it coming, but a few clones did, when Emperor Palpatine uttered the infamous words, "Execute Order 66. It was the death knell of the Jedi Order. In an instant, loyal clone troopers became executioners, turning on their Jedi allies and wiping them out. The Galactic Republic fell, and the Empire rose from its ashes. Yet not every clone obeyed. Some resisted, some escaped, and some refused outright. Today we're exploring all the clones who disobeyed Order 66. Captain Rex. If any clone proved fate wasn't set in stone, it was Captain Rex. For years he fought beside the Jedi, loyal, trusted, respected. Then in an instant, Order 66 turned him into a weapon against them. Could you resist if your own mind was no longer your own? Rex tried. His hands shook, and his thoughts screamed, but the Order tightened its grip. With his last shred of control, he uttered two desperate words, "Find Fives." But Fives was gone. And by the time Rex realized the truth, it was already too late. Ahsoka Tano heard him though. She stunned him, uncovered the truth, and freed him from the chip in his head. Together, they barely escaped, watching Rex's brothers fall. But Rex wasn't the only clone to face the impossible. Some were built differently from the start. Clone Force 99, the Bad Batch. Meet Clone Force 99, aka the Bad Batch. Unlike regular clones, these guys were genetically enhanced. Hunter had heightened senses. Wrecker was a human wrecking ball. Tech was a genius hacker, and Crosshair was a deadly sniper. When Order 66 dropped, they watched their fellow clones slay Jedi General Depa-Billaba. Most of them questioned it, but Crosshair's inhibitor chip pushed him to obey, splitting the squad. They knew something was wrong, but how do you fight an order wired into your very DNA? Before the Bad Batch ever questioned their orders though, one lone trooper nearly uncovered the truth behind them all. Fives. A battle-hardened soldier from Domino Squad, Fives became a hero in the 501st Legion, but everything changed when his brother, Tup, inexplicably executed General Tiplar. A malfunction? No way. Fives dug deeper, and what he found should have changed history. Buried inside every clone's brain was an inhibitor chip that was set to force them into blind obedience when the time came. That time, Order 66. The clones weren't just soldiers. They were unwitting pawns in a Sith master plan. But the Sith were ahead of him. Branded a traitor, Fives was hunted down and taken down by Commander Fox before he could warn the Jedi. Now Fives may have uncovered the darkness hidden within the clone army, but some never need a conspiracy to see the truth. Cut Lawquane. Cut Lawquane was one of the few who rejected not just Order 66, but the entire purpose he was created. During the Clone Wars, his transport was shot down, leaving him stranded after his unit was wiped out. But instead of returning to battle, he walked away. He wondered, why fight in a war that only brought death? Who was it really for? The Republic? The Jedi? Or something far more sinister? Seeking peace, he built a quiet life on Seleucami, marrying a Twi'lek named Sue and raising her children as his own. When Order 66 was issued, Cut was far from the chaos. Cut Lawquane chose a life of peace from the start. For many others though, walking away from war wasn't so simple. Commander Wolffe and Captain Gregor. What happens when soldiers built for war decide to walk away? Commander Wolffe and Captain Gregor weren't just any clones. They were hardened veterans. Wolffe, leader of the 104th Battalion's Wolf Pack, had fought beside Jedi General Plo Koon for years. When Order 66 came, he wasn't by Plo's side. Did that make it easier to obey? At first, he followed orders, but doubt crept in. Gregor, a survivor of a near-fatal battle on Abafar, was later forced to train the Empire's first stormtroopers. But how could he serve an empire he didn't trust? Both Wolffe and Gregor joined Rex in hiding on Selos, a remote planet where they could finally escape the war. But could warriors like them ever truly stop fighting? When the rebellion rose, they had a new choice to make. Sit back or stand up once again. While Wolffe and Gregor struggled to escape the war's grip though, one clone found himself trapped outside time itself. Kix. Kix, a medic in the 501st Legion, is the only clone who completely missed the rise of the Empire. How does a soldier survive a war only to wake up in a galaxy where it was already lost? Unlike his brothers, he discovered Order 66 before it happened. He uncovered the truth about the inhibitor chips and tried to warn the Jedi. But Count Dooku's forces got to him first. Captured by the Separatists, Kix was frozen in stasis aboard a transport ship. But before it could reach Sereno, an attack forced a desperate hyperspace jump. The ship crashed on a remote desert planet, leaving him trapped for decades. When he finally woke up, everything was gone. The Republic, the Jedi, even the Empire. Ultimately, with nowhere else to turn, he became a medic for a pirate crew. Of course, Kix wasn't the only clone stranded in an unfamiliar future. Hob 147. Hob 147 was a pilot without a war. A clone starfighter ace who had drifted unconscious in space for weeks after his V-19 Torrent was critically damaged in battle. By the time he was discovered, the galaxy had changed forever, but how could he have known? Seeing stormtroopers when he woke up, he assumed they were his old brothers in new armor, but the moment he revealed himself, they opened fire. Eventually, he found a young Jedi hiding aboard the salvager's ship. Trusting his instincts, Hob 147 made his choice. Protect the Jedi, defy the Empire, and rewrite his own destiny. Hob 147 chose to carve a new path in a galaxy that no longer had a place for him. But not every clone had the chance to walk away. Gray. Commander Gray fought aside Jedi Master Depa Billaba and Caleb Dume, forging a bond built on trust. But when those words came, execute Order 66, everything changed. The inhibitor chip in his head turned him into a hunter. He and his men gunned down Billaba, then for days they hunted Caleb. But what happens when the loyalty forced upon you begins to crack? Something inside Gray stirred. Doubt, guilt, and a quiet voice refusing to be silenced. When they finally cornered Caleb aboard a fleeing ship, Gray did the unthinkable. He shattered the chip's grip and sabotaged their ship. In his final act, he gave his life to save the Padawan he once called a friend. While Gray's moment of doubt led him to sacrifice everything for a friend, the Alpha-class ARC Troopers had a different kind of rebellion in their blood. The Alpha-class ARC Troopers. The Alpha-class ARC Troopers were unlike any other soldiers. Why? They were designed to be the Republic's deadliest warriors. But there was one major difference between them and standard clones. They could think for themselves. So when Order 66 turned the Grand Army of the Republic into Jedi executioners, many Alpha Arcs refused. One of them, Maze, had long questioned the Republic's politics. With unwavering respect for the Jedi, Maze made a choice. He vanished to Mandalore, forging a new life beyond the war. Maze walked away from the war, choosing freedom over tyranny. But for Omega Squad, the battle wasn't just political, it was personal. Omega Squad. The galaxy was burning, and so was everything Omega Squad had ever believed in. Omega Squad were warriors shaped by Mandalorian tradition, trained by the ruthless mercenary Cal Shirada, who taught them one thing above all: brotherhood comes before orders. But when Order 66 was issued, the choice was impossible for Darman. Jedi General Etain Tur-Mukan. He loved her. Could he end the life of a woman he had sworn to protect? Meanwhile, the Yayak Squad faced their own crisis when one of their own fell for Shirada's daughter. In the end, both squads made the only choice that felt right. They turned their backs on the Republic, defied the Empire, and vanished to Mandalore. Ultimately, Omega Squad and Yayak Squad chose love and loyalty over blind obedience, but they weren't the only ones. The Null-class ARC Troopers. The Null-class ARC Troopers weren't just clones, they were experiments, prototypes for an elite breed of warriors. When the Kaminoans deemed them unstable, they were set for termination before ever seeing battle. Was their fate sealed before they even had a chance to fight? This is where Cal Shirada came in. As a Mandalorian mercenary, he saw these troops as more than just defective soldiers. He saw sons. He took them in, he trained them, and he earned their fierce loyalty. To the Nulls, Cal wasn't just their commander, he was family. So when Order 66 came down, the Nullarchs didn't hesitate. They rejected it completely, refusing to fight for Palpatine's new empire. Instead, they disappeared into Mandalore's shadows. With that being said, which of these clones has been the most memorable for you? Comment down below. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe for more.